Hello and welcome to this super special and sacred conversation. I'm Naidoo-Jooste. I am a spiritual intuitive, and today I'm joined by an incredible soul who has truly walked the path of purpose. Insaaf Daniels is a human capital director and board member in the IT retail industry. She's also the founder of Your Next Level and host of the Your Next Level podcast, a platform for women to rise to their fullest potential. Over the last decade, Insaaf has not only grown her career in remarkable ways, she's also built a community of women who are thriving and creating lives filled with purpose, balance, and meaning. In this conversation, Insaaf will be sharing her experience of answering the call of her soul and what it looks like to keep choosing the path one conscious step at a time. This topic on awakening to your soul's calling is especially close to my heart because Insaaf has had one of the greatest influences on my own journey. The way that she lives and leads has been inspiring me long before I ever imagined I would be doing the kind of work that I do today. And to be sharing this space with her feels like such a full circle moment. It is so special, and I am so excited to be sharing it with you. Hello, Insaaf. Welcome. It is so amazing to be with you.
Thank you so much.
I'm so excited. I've been like hyperventilating in a good way this whole day because this is such a special conversation to have with you. I mentioned to you just before we started recording that today is a super special day. Apart from it being with you, like you are one of the most courageous, boldest light workers that I've had the privilege of knowing. This topic of awakening to your soul's calling is something super special and deep to me because you were the first person to light that spark in me. I refer to you as my original activator. When I
Oh
first
my
met you,
gosh.
like I don't think
God.
that you even knew the impact that you had on my life, but I just met you, and when I saw how you were living your life and the things that you were creating, and so so confident in your ability to do what you believe in and knowing what you're worth and giving yourself the respect that you know that you're so deserving on, like huge change for me. So that is adding to this call being so special because it happened for me since I met you. And I also mentioned that the day that we're recording today is the Buddha's birthday. So I feel like our guides, our higher selves, they're like gathering around us and they're like, woo. It's a very special day. Thank you so much for having this conversation.
So honored to have this conversation. I wouldn't have wanted to have this conversation with anyone. So thank you so much for having me.
Thank you, Insav. Now, before we dive into your story, which I am so curious to know, because I don't think we've ever talked about your own journey, like the details of your journey. But before we dive into that, likely the people listening in, there will be some people who are meeting you for the first time. So, would you please take a moment to introduce yourself and the kind of work that you feel called to do in the world today?
Yeah. Okay, so I am Insaaf Daniels. I am in my 30s. I can't believe it. It's so exciting to be in my 30s. I think it's the most incredible time. What I really do is I help women transform their lives, and that is my sole purpose. And that is why it comes so naturally to me. It's the thing that gives me the biggest joy. It makes me the happiest. It can take me from like being in a normal day-to-day doing the mundane things and then chatting to a woman about her mindset or what she is dreaming about. That is what really excites me, and I truly believe that that is my soul's purpose. And then in my human life, I am a HR director for software companies, which again, like I'm an HR director, like I am here to help people. It has been part of the journey all along. And then I'm also the founder of Your Next Level, which is a brand focused on helping women with a really amazing team behind it. So together we help women get to their next level in their mindsets and in their lives as well.
Thank you for that. And I can attest to that, like proof. My life has changed thanks to working with you. Now, we want to know what your journey was like.
Yeah,
Can you take us back to the very beginning, like before any of what you're doing now was even a thing? What was life like for you back then? And how did that like click happen when you knew there's a different path opening up for me?
yeah. So I think I always knew that I was born to help people, mostly because I wanted to be a doctor when I was a kid. And it was really obviously to help people. Um, and obviously my mom didn't think that that was the way to go at the time. And like, I went through life, through schooling, primary school, high school, etc. And growing up, like life wasn't the same as it was, or my life rather wasn't the same as it was, as everyone else was experiencing. It was actually a really tough time, which not many people know this about me, because when you see me today, you see how I show up today and confidently today. um, you wouldn't think that I was probably like one of like the poorest kids, not like knowing as a primary school kid, like worrying about paying your school fees. Like no kid should be worried about that. But that was life. Like that was normal life to me. I didn't know that I was poor at the time. And I think like most kids probably, when you're going through a tough time and everyone else around you is going through a tough time, it seems like it is just that is life. Um, and I grew up with a single parent, and my mom, obviously, she did the best that she could with the information that she had, and she really did the best. She like worked night shift, weekends, whatever I needed, she gave it to me. Even if eating porridge for breakfast, lunch, and supper seemed like that was her giving me everything, that's what life started like for me. And then I moved on to high school, and high school is kind of like where things shifted because we moved out of the area that we were living in, where there was so like everyone was just poor in that area. And my mom got married to someone that she really loved at the time. No, at the time she really loves him and still until today. But they fell in love, and he had offered a better life for us, what seemed like a better life at that time, and I guess it still is to many people. And what a better life looked like was a house that there wasn't like leakages. There was several taps, whereas in my previous house, like we just literally eventually had one tap, um, and that was like good enough. So he gave us like this better life, and I went to high school and I met like other people there, etc. And as a teenager, like I know teenagers now, they're so, or some of them at least, like they're so angry at life. But that was such a great time for me because that's really where I got my confidence, where I met like these different people, and seeing how like different people are living life and what they are achieving or not achieving, etc. But for some reason, there was always just something in me that always wanted more. And while that may sound like it wasn't like I wasn't satisfied in life, I think that like me always wanting more is what drove me to who I am now. So in high school, more looked like getting a job, and so I used to I got a job at a restaurant as a hostess, which was so much fun. And maybe at that time it seemed like wanting more, but actually I needed to get my own money so that I could pay for my own fun things to do with my friends. And then yeah, and then high school, when high school was done, the matriculant year, again, like the circles that we lived in was you only kind of know what you know. Okay, so um where I lived, it was kind of you just go to high school and then after high school you get a job. Like it wasn't anything about going to university or
Mm.
no one ever spoke to me about university. I didn't know that was a thing. I didn't even dream about like what comes after university. I really just thought after school you go and you get a job at like Truworths. That was probably my dream at the time. You go and get a job at Truworths and then like you've made it in life. And then someone spoke to my mom at her work and they were like, "Oh, your daughter should go study." And my mom came to me and she's like, "Oh, you should go study." So my mom got more information from a random female that she spoke with about your daughter should go study. And it was January already. University applications were probably closed. And my mom's like, "You need to go study. I'm going to take you to university and you need to figure out how you are going to uh, get into the university at this time." Um, and I was like, no, I am going to get a job. I'm going to do promotions because I need to make money. Because that's kind of like after matric, you get a job, you make money. And then anyway, she forced me. She literally, she got someone like the neighbor because she was working. She got the neighbor to take me to Belleville because that's where both universities was, UWC and CPUT, to drop me there. And I needed to figure out. I needed to come home with saying I'm going to university. And then I went to one of the universities and they were like, no, applications closed, blah, blah, blah. And then I told my mom and she's like, you need to get into a university. I went to the other university, which is opposite the road. This was CPT. And then I had to select what to study. And I was like, okay, cool. Management and finance sounds like a good idea. It sounds general. It kind of goes with the subjects that I studied at at high school because I happened to get a good mark in accounting. So management and finance, let's do that. And then I asked at the university, I was like, where do I go? Who can help me get in? So I was kind of asking people as I was walking. And then they told me to go to this one office. I went to this office and me as like, I don't know how old I was. I think I may have been, how old is one when you matriculate?
Around
You
17,
like,
18. Yeah.
yeah, 17, 18. So I was probably 17 because I know I was always like a year younger than everyone else. So I went to this, what I now know was the lecturer and the head of the commerce department. I stood in a queue to go into her office. I had my matric report and it was my time to go. And I was like, I need to study here. And she's like, is this your matric? And I'm like, yep. And she took it and she's like, come back at like 2:30, whatever. This was 11 o'clock. So I
But
stayed
applications were
in
already closed,
Belleville.
right?
Applications were closed. So I stayed until
Okay.
2:30. And now it
Shit.
came and it came to 30 and she said I need to meet her. I need to meet her at like some location, some room. I went there at 2:30.
Okay.
I was there and she was chatting to like students and stuff. And then um yeah, and then she was about to leave. And I'm standing there and like she didn't call me or anything, but obviously she doesn't know who I am. She spoke to like I don't know how many people. And I went to her and I said, listen, I spoke to you this morning. You said that I need to come back at 2:30. I am here. I need to study at this university. And she looked at my report at the time. She's like, this. Yes, you in. And I'm like, what do you mean? She's like, you need to pay registration and then you can come to this university. I was like, okay. And then I had to find my way public transport home. But the game changer that happened there was my mom spoke to this random lady that told her, that gave her some
Oh my gosh.
information that she never
Yeah.
had, that my mom
Mm.
never had. And that one random lady transformed everything. Obviously started at went to university and things grew from that point. But it was so eye-opening for me at that point already that there was one piece of information that someone could share that could change the game and shift the life and the lives of so many people.
Mm.
So that already planted the seed for me.
Wow.
Anyway, I did university, and then it was time to do an internship. Fast forward, so the university kind of gets you an internship. Everyone was going to the same place for the internship, and I was like, nope. I think there was something about me that needed to, I don't know, be more challenged. And I was like, no, I want to go to a place where no one else is going to go,
Mm.
and this place is going to make me permanent because I still had that mindset of I needed to get a permanent job. I applied to Pick and Pay, and then that's obviously where I got my first internship. And then I started at Pick and Pay as a finance intern. So I was working in finance. I was doing my internship, and then one day, I this random lady, which was the head of the department at the time, she's like, "I need your help. Can you help me in recruitment? Will you come help me in HR?" And I'm like, "Okay, cool. Like, let me help you." So what I was helping her with, I was helping her with going through hundreds of CVs, contacting these people and saying, hey, would you come in for an assessment for a potential job? And that, I was like, are you telling me that I can have a hand in someone's entire life changing just because I picked up the call and told them they can come
Oh,
for an
wow.
assessment?
It started
I
then.
was like, this is incredible. Yeah. I was
But
like, this is
think about it, it
amazing.
all started then.
And seriously.
Oh my goodness.
And then I did that. I did that. I was still an intern. Then my internship was done, and this lady again, she said, will you come and work on your days off from university? Which I did. Um, but for some reason, I was always a hard worker. But I think it was because everything that I was experiencing, I just took it with so much excitement, with so much enthusiasm. And I think that's still the way that I go through life. Whatever the thing is that I'm experiencing, like I'm so grateful for the experience. Um, and I think maybe it is growing up with nothing. And that's why you can be so excited for everything.
Mm.
So then I worked. I was doing the intern thing. But I believed in my heart that this company is going to make me permanent, right? Because they were like, I needed a permanent job, and I was like, if I work hard enough, they'll make me permanent. Anyway, and then there was a vacancy available, and they offered it to me. So again, I that time already, like what I saw was that hard work. And when you're excited about doing something, it can
Mm.
get you everything. The way I like got into university, because I was just like, I need to get this. Like, I'm gonna wait here, no matter how long I'm gonna have to wait. I'm gonna go ask that lady who gets
Yeah.
into university like
I
that.
know, I
Like, I don't know
know.
anyone that's just like, then them offering me this job. Like, I didn't need to go through
Mm.
all these interview processes and whatever. But because
Yes.
like when I was gonna do something, I was like, I'm putting my all into this thing that I'm doing. Anyway, so that's how I started my career working with people. I was very excited to offer people jobs, to change their lives because that's what it was all about. And then as I grew in my career, I now became more senior. My time was much more valuable, but still a big part of my job was giving people jobs, were interviewing people. And I was interviewing people, and because of the pace that I was interviewing at, I no longer had time to give people feedback as to what they were doing well and what they're not doing so well, or what they could improve on rather. And then I thought, how can I give people like advice on how to shift things so that they can show up better
Mm,
um, in life, really. And then that's when I started doing the videos. I was like, I can't reach people
mm,
one on one to tell you
mm.
how you could have shown up with a bit more confidence. And then I started doing videos.
You started
And
sharing
I think
YouTube
I
videos, right?
yes, yeah, I started doing YouTube videos and then sharing it on LinkedIn as well. And that was so much fun because that was also like it was that outlet again of me helping people
Mm,
because my job was becoming very process driven and very delivery focused that it became a little bit about like the numbers and so
mm,
it should as the company grows. But I still needed like that thing that was gonna allow me to help people. And then I started doing the videos which was so much fun. And
and it
then
speaks to how having
I
fun along
probably
the
needed
way.
more. Exactly. Yes. And I would do the videos like on weekends and stuff. And then I also started the podcast as well because with the videos were short form and the podcast was a bit longer form, so I could share it was like so much more with people. And then people started finding me on LinkedIn and they would ask me to help guide them. It was really career focused at the time. And by me doing those videos, that's what got me my next corporate job
Mm,
at this software company that I'm at now. So again, I didn't have to go for this like hectic interview process. I just did what I loved, and then that got me the next thing. Um, but while I was doing being in my initial corporate job and while I was doing the videos and stuff, there were more women that were coming through. There were more women that I was connecting with that was understanding what I was doing. They were understanding like the purpose and the passion behind it. So I've been so blessed with having females as managers. For most of my roles that I've had in my career, I've had females as managers. So they taught me how to lead from that female and the feminine way. And also, when I was sharing this career advice at the time, it was females that were asking for support. And then I quickly discovered that it is so easy for me to give people career advice, but that advice, nothing can happen with that advice if you are not in the right mindset.
mm,
Because ultimately, if I look back at how my life transformed from being like super poor to eating porridge for breakfast, lunch, and supper to being in a position where life feels easy like my life is easy. I always get the things that I want, and it's not even an affirmation. It's like that is just how it is for me. Like those two worlds are so far apart. Why was that happening? It was happening because of my mindset.
mm,
It was happening because I felt confident enough even before I go um, to meet with someone that I'd think like this is going to be the best meeting. We are going to have the best time. Like I'm going to get into this university. I'm good. Like this video, people are going to be like, "Wow, thank you so much for this video." And that what one might seem as confidence is really a mindset. And then
mm.
that made me realize that I could give all the career advice. I can help you redo your CV and redo your LinkedIn and all of that, but that means nothing if I haven't helped you shift your mindset.
Yeah.
And that's when Next Level was born. And
Mm.
that like truly gives me, like, it fills me so with so much joy to help women shift their mindset and really see what is possible for them.
Wow.
That is
Like
my answer to
in
your
the
question.
story, in your story, I'm seeing there was a build up. Like you needed to go through one
Yeah.
phase and that led you to the next, and there were like divine interventions of these random women. Thank you to them for being available to open up opportunities. Like when you mentioned your first internship role, you were asked to assist with recruiting. That was never meant to be part of your internship, right?
No. Yeah.
But
Not
it
at
just came
all.
to
I was
you.
not meant to. Exactly. I mean, on paper, I wasn't meant to do that job, but it came to me.
So, whatever is meant for you, like we can deduct a few things. Whatever's meant for
Yeah.
you will always find you. When you have fun, amazing things will happen,
Yes.
and each step will build into the next. Like when you said you got to the phase of knowing that you needed to guide, well, first you noticed the transformation in your mindset, but to get to that,
Mm,
you needed to go through the whole transformation before
yeah.
that. Your journey is quite fascinating, and how you had that hope of things could change and things just lined up for you. Was there anything that blew your mind? Like either surprised you, you were absolutely not expecting your life to go in this way? Were there any moments like that?
Yeah. I think my entire life feels like a moment like that. I, when every version of me, like if I think about who I am now versus me when I finished university, like me when I finished university could have not even imagined who I am now. And so of the versions before that, who I am, the way I think, the life that I have, the people that I have in my life, I think like the entire thing is just such a big miracle. I feel like sometimes I'm just these like these magical wishes just pops in my head, and then I love it so much and it becomes my reality. And these like simple things. I mean, when I look back at my journal of last year, what I wrote at the beginning of last year, I was like, I couldn't wait to transform X people's lives. And then quickly, like it happened so quickly. What happened so quickly was that we were able to have events, and
Mm,
so many women were able to attend events. So I really do feel like those things, it's like these little like downloads, but in the form of wishes.
yeah.
The position that I got at my corporate company before I started at the company, I told myself, and I made a video and I said, I'm going to be the HR director of this company. And I still have the video. And when I look at it, it blows my mind because I didn't start at the company, but I already knew that I was going to be the director. And that meant that I needed to get promoted twice. And then 9 months later, after starting at the company, I got that position. My boyfriend that I'm dating now, like when I was on high school, when I was telling you about when I had the job at a restaurant as a hostess, there was this guy and he was driving this car and life just looked so nice. And I thought to myself, oh, I would, one day I would just love to have a boyfriend that drives this car. And literally, like my boyfriend drives that car and he's like the profile and everything. It matches up. So yeah, I think my entire like life and everything. I mean, even having the soul session with you, I couldn't have imagined that it was going to be this big of a session. Like it was just like again, I just got this download that I needed to message you to have a session. And like if I think back to it now, it was like a wish, and the way it was
Yeah.
fulfilled was just so beautiful.
It's almost like your
So
wishes are premonitions.
maybe,
I want to go back to how you started putting yourself out there. So, when you realize that you do want to support people, help them transform their lives and improve the way that they show up, but you couldn't do it on a one-to-one level, it would not have been sustainable. You got the idea, let me take myself online. Was that difficult? Like, did you encounter any challenges, even like mindset? Were you freaking out at all?
I think that I always knew what the purpose of or the reason why I was doing what I was doing. And that the reason, so the reason was to help people. And it's still the thing that I put at the forefront of my life right now. What is the reason that you are doing? The reason why I'm building the next level is to help people. So at that time, the reason why I was doing those videos was to help people, and nothing was going to stop me. As long as I just zoned into the
Mm.
helping people, the one person on the other side that's going to receive this, I can't care about anything else. I mean, there was one
Oh my
time, there
gosh.
was a guy, he came into the corporate company. So I was making these videos, putting it on LinkedIn, and he came into the corporate company and he was much senior. And we had this like a meeting, and he came in and he was making fun of my videos in front of like these people that we don't know. And I was so confused. I was like, what is happening right now? And then I quickly realized, oh, he doesn't get it. Like, of course he doesn't get
Yeah.
it. My videos are not for him. And I didn't even have to say anything. I just let him continue what he was doing. And to others, it may look like I just kept quiet and I allowed him to. But what happened afterwards was I went to him when he was alone, and I approached him and I said, hey, what you did was like, it wasn't professional. If you don't like the videos, then you should just unfollow me.
Mm.
And the respect that I got back from him was so shocking, but I didn't need to like act in a certain way or anything. I just knew, oh, the video wasn't supposed to be for this guy. So that's why he's acting like that. I can't possibly expect him to understand. He's not on the same path. So for me, as long as, and still up until today, even in your next level, our challenges are much bigger now than, if someone doesn't like a video, if someone makes fun of a video, the challenges I've never experienced so many challenges in work like I do with building a company. But as long as you just remember the person on the other side, they
Mm.
need to receive your message. When I post a video online, and then like I think it's maybe peak time to post, and then like two people like it, I just have to remind myself that it's not about like getting views. It's not about like the Instagram algorithm or anything like that. That would be nice, but it is about those people that
Mm.
liked it. They got something out of it. And maybe this time the piece of content that I need to put out is only going to resonate with that one person. But I don't know, maybe 5 days it's going to resonate with another
Mm.
person. And then 25 days after that, it's going to resonate with another person when they need it. The same, like I know with your next level, it's not for everyone. You
Yeah.
will find it when you need it. And if you don't resonate with it now, then like that's on you. If you think that it is silly, if you think what I'm doing is ridiculous, then like that is okay. It's not for you.
Mm.
You can unfollow and you can go onto your part of the internet, but this is my part of the internet, and I'm gonna have
Yeah.
fun with what I do, because there is one person or even like 100 people that really think what I'm gonna do is cool, and I want them to experience that. Why would I take that away from them because I'm scared of what you may think?
Mm. I feel like these people who come and show us their rudeness and complete lack of respect, they're almost like tests to see, do we truly believe in our purpose, what we're being called to do? And are we going to let
Yeah.
anyone and or anything stop us? And in your case, it was someone in your work environment. Have you had positive experiences with people in your like close circle of friends, family? Has people gotten you from the start, or did you experience any resistance?
Yeah. I think that the people that support me the most are the people on the internet. Are the people that I
Yeah.
don't know, are the like just the most random people. I chat to like the best people online. I think that there was an expectation from me, from my closest friends, to get what I'm doing, to support me, because that's what I would do. And like that's how I feel right now. I mean, I've invited because we host events at your next level, and I've invited people over and over to the events, my closest friends that I love so much, and they don't come. And I've had like maybe 6 events, and they haven't
Mm,
attended one. And it's okay. Like it really is okay. It's okay that maybe they don't get it. It's okay that maybe like it doesn't make sense to them. What I'm doing now, maybe me a few years ago would have also not made sense too. So what I've
mm,
really learned was to accept people as they are. Accept people as they are and try to meet them where they are at. Like they don't need to get me. I mean, I've had family members that like would tell their wives like not to be like me. And that's like it's very weird, and it's like I don't understand why you would tell a woman because I think
mm,
I'm like doing awesome things for women. Uh, but that's okay, like that's your life. I cannot utilize like my energy to try to explain to someone why I'm doing what I'm doing when I can use that energy to give it to someone that wants more of what I'm doing.
mm. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's so important to build support for yourself, whatever that looks like, because I feel like that is something
Yeah.
that can hold people back from not just entertaining the idea that they can pursue what they're truly feeling in their heart they're meant to do. But if they don't see that support from like a best friend or a family member or even a partner, they might take it as, oh, this is not for me. If the people that are closest to me don't see this for me, then it can't be true. And that is not true because I've experienced that. And that's why I
Yeah.
asked you. Be like I had so much resistance, and I almost thought for a long time that no, I need to stay in my lane in in the old career that I was in the old type of person and mindset that I was, because it didn't take well to other people. But not everyone's going to get you, and you find the right
Yeah.
people along the way.
You do, and I think like it just having one person that
One
gets you,
person.
I think
Yeah,
that can hold you for a long time until you get another person and another person.
yeah.
I think on my journey, I created a lot of things as well that I kept to myself. Um, Maybe it was articles or something on my website or something like that that I would just create and I would keep it to myself. And maybe at the time I was scared because I wasn't a web designer, and now like what would people think of this like at the time my makeshift website that I had spent hours on. Or even if I did publish it and no one came, like it's okay. It is part of the process. I can only get better. Like through the things
Mm.
I can only get better. Um, yeah, it just takes like one person to say, "Hey, I get you." And that comfort, and then maybe another person to say, like, "I'm into."
Yeah. And I just want to say for those listening, if they're thinking, but I don't even have one person, that one person could be just about anything or anyone. It can be your higher self. It can be the greater intelligence that you believe in. It can be someone that you're following online. It can be a teacher or like an influencer, someone that you find often at random. It wasn't random.
Yeah,
They were there for you, just in a completely different form. That was a huge lesson for me on my journey, where I would ask, where are the people? Why don't I see people believing in me? And you have to believe in yourself first before before it
yeah,
manifests as physical people.
yeah. And I think also to let go of the expectations that, and this sounds so sad to say, but like your family and your closest friends
Mm,
are going to be your biggest supporters. It doesn't mean if they don't support you that they are not, that they don't care or they're not your best friend like you thought that they are. It doesn't mean that at all. It just means
Yeah.
that they don't get it or they don't get it yet. And you have to go on this journey in parallel, like to them. They are still there in your life for a reason. You don't need to cut them off if there's no reason to. Um, but the people that are going to support you is probably going to be like the most random people that you had not expected. And I think a way also to like if you want even that one person, like there are different programs that you can join that
Mm.
may be free or may be paid for, or even like just the comment section of a YouTube video. Like you said, those people that you do follow or people that you see as mentors, like you can join their programs, look at the comment section, in their videos, in even on their Instagram page. Like sometimes what I do also, if there is like a creator that the work that they do I really love, and I would go and check who follows them, and I will go and follow someone that like stands out to me. Or if maybe, for example, if I'm following you, Yaz, and maybe you had done a session with someone and you posted about them, then I would go follow them because that
Mm.
means that there's something about me and them that is the same because we both are connected to you because we both
Mm.
did this work with you. So that's also a way that I try to just fill my ecosystem with people that are on the same journey as me.
Yeah.
And when I say my ecosystem, I'm really talking about like my
Yeah.
online life.
And on your journey to creating this life, creating your career, did you find that you did not know what to do? You didn't know like what the end result was going to look like. Did it scare you? Did you have that uncertainty?
Yeah, I think I probably still have that uncertainty. Um, but I know to trust my intuition, even
Mm.
if it doesn't make sense. So I would I always do my meditation, and at the end, what does my soul want me to know? And that would be the thing that I would do. And maybe at that time it was recorded video. I know as long as I follow the next step and the next step and the next step, it will lead me to something. Um, if I'm fearful of doing something, like I know my different like levels of fear. I know my usually like when I'm scared of doing something, it's because I know that this is going to put me out there. Like it's going to
Mm.
uncover a part of me that I'm not sure if I want people to show or if I want to show people yet. That's when I'm so scared. It's like oh my God, like I know like I want to do this, but no, I'm not going to do this because I don't know what people are going to think about it or anything like that. Then I know without a doubt I have to do it.
Mm.
Like I know there's a difference between like that like level of fear and my fear of doing something because I don't want to do it. And not because like my higher self is calling me to do it. So I've really learned to tune into myself. But we all have to start somewhere.
Mm.
Like that is like without a doubt, everyone has to start somewhere. And as long as you take that first step, and then you just let it guide you to the next and the next and the next and the next. And who knows what the next is going to be after that. Like I've had so many things that are not existent anymore. And then I also have things that I have developed like maybe 5 years ago that I am pulling out of the woodworks now because now it makes sense to utilize those things.
Yeah.
And one of those things we're actually going to use in your next level. We're going to launch it soon. But it's something that I like did like that I worked on a very long time ago when I was kind of like just, staying under the radar, working on it myself, not ready for everyone to see it yet. Now it's gonna be ready. But in conclusion, I would say like if you want to put something out or you want to like do something and you know your fear is the fear of being seen by other people, just trust that you had that download of doing that thing, of putting that thing out there for a reason,
Mm,
and rather quiver and shiver and be nervous doing it, than not do it at all, because that download that you got to do it is because there is someone on the other side, especially if you're doing the work that we are doing, there's someone on the other side that needed the message that you are about to
mm,
share. Like
yeah,
they need it, and you could change their life, you could change how their day is gonna go.
yeah. It's almost like the other person they triggered the request. And because you were the right person to meet that request, you get the download. But it is your choice on whether to act on it
Yeah.
or not.
And I feel like that's why there's so many like women. There's so many of us doing so many things. I mean, there's so many people doing what I'm doing, and there's so many people doing what you're doing. Obviously, like we're doing it our way, and that's the thing that makes it so unique. Because there could be like five people doing what you are doing, but there are people that needs to receive it in a way that you do it.
Mm,
They would not be able to receive that exact information in the way that someone else is going to deliver it. They need it from you. And why would we deny anyone that?
yes.
Because we're scared.
Mm.
Yeah.
Back to downloads. I'm just thinking,
Yes.
not everyone knows what download means. They're
Oh
like a
my gosh.
document
Okay.
download? What are they talking about? Can you tell us what do downloads look like for you? We're talking about inner knowing, your soul speaking to you. How do you experience that?
Okay. So the way that I see downloads is, I think some people may describe it as like that little voice, and that's not really how I see it. How I see it and how downloads come to me is in a time that I am making space for myself. So for me personally, I need to get into a quiet space for myself. So whether this is getting into meditation, whether it's going on a walk or even having like a solo coffee date or something, but it is almost like um, opening up imagine like we have all these like uh energy portals like around us, and there's information coming in from everyone, from there's information coming in from the people that is walking around us, our thoughts that we have, etc. And that's what we go through every single day, all day. But when we choose, in my mind, when we're choosing to spend time with ourselves, we in some way we almost like just pushing everyone's energy back to them.
Mm,
We're giving everyone's energy back, and we're taking all our energy back to ourselves. And it's like it's in my mind, and this may sound crazy to people, but it's clearing the pathways
mm,
for the download to come, because now I am settled. I've given everyone's energy back. I have taken my energy back, and I'm in this peaceful state. And now, like these messages, that's what download means to me. It's these messages that will come into my mind that will provide some level of guidance or clarity, even if it doesn't make sense at the time. So, for example, in my meditation, if I ask at the end of my meditation, what is it that my soul wants me to know? And I'll sit there, and then something will come like, go for a walk. And I'll go for a walk, and then maybe on my walk, I'll listen to a podcast episode, for example, and then I'll get an idea for something. And I'll maybe get an idea to do an Instagram video on talking about a specific topic, and then I'm talking about that specific topic, and then that someone else connects with me through that topic. That's an example of like just like being in stillness and listening to that thing that just came through to you in that stillness. Like I mentioned to you earlier, I had my meditation, and then when I asked, what does my soul want me to know, which is my favorite question. And at this time, when I was feeling like I'm going through a transformation, it was, what does my soul want me to do about what I'm experiencing now? And my
Mm.
soul was like, you should contact Yaz. And I went on a walk and I messaged you, and then we did our session, and now we're here. So like, just that, you should message Yaz.
Yeah.
Like, you helped me so much, and now we doing things for your website. Like, who knows where this is going to lead to?
Yeah.
So
So we never
yeah, that's what
actually
it is.
know where it's going to lead, but it's going to be
You
amazing.
never know exactly, but it's going to be amazing. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's messages that you get. What does it mean to you?
It's quite similar. So mine are definitely more in the form of a thought or a conversation taking place internally. And it started off that way when I first met you. I started receiving the guidance, and it would absolutely only happen when I was in a quieter environment. So meditation, or even when you're settling to sleep, or when you wake up, things like that. It's always when things are quieter. It gets easier when you practice it more often, where you can get the guidance in a completely noisy environment. But I think you almost need to build the habit over a period of time to be able to get it at any time. But how it's evolved from thought to where I am now, I'm having conversations where information is coming from entities that I know is not me, because I don't have that kind of wisdom. The wisdom that comes through, I'm like, wow, I feel like I'm a trillion years old to be receiving such kind, loving, wider perspective views. Like the challenges that I have, the human challenges. Like, for example, when someone is unkind to me, I don't take it that well. I'm built that way. I get emotional over harsh interactions with people. But when I take it into a meditation and I receive the guidance, I get the sacred lesson on why it had to happen, and the compassion that needs to come through me to understand that this person is just expressing themselves perfectly as they are, because it was meant to serve me, to open my heart up to them. It's not all about having a blissfully wonderful, easy life experience. It is nice to have that. But when we have the hard, challenging times, there's also greatness happening in those moments too. So that is how my downloads come. I wouldn't say it's voices because it's not loud. I'm not hearing something audible, but it's coming in the form of a thought, but I just know it's not my thought. But thank you.
Yeah.
I'll take it. It's great advice.
That is
Yeah.
incredible. You're definitely connected.
Yeah.
You're connected.
Yeah. So you say that your tools or routines around connecting with your inner guidance is more stillness, meditation, just time to yourself. Do you have any
Mhm.
practices to stay aligned when you feel overwhelmed? Like you mentioned, you experience different levels of fear. How do you take care of yourself when you feel afraid, when you feel uncertain or just overwhelmed?
Yeah. And when things get busy, when things get busy and they're hectic, or even when all the good things are happening, then it's so easy to um leave your practices, because
Mm.
sometimes like we often go to our practices and our tools like when you need them the most. So my mornings are so sacred to me. So I try my best to wake up before everyone wakes up. But I have so many animals now, so that has really become hectic. Um, so what is very important to me is that the days that I am working from home, I'll make sure that I go on my walks in the morning. And then the days that I am going to the office, I'll make sure that I go on my walks in the evening. So my walks are very important to me. It allows me to connect with nature. It it just like it allows me to see the abundance in the world, no matter what has gone on in my day or what's going to happen in the day. The fact that the leaves are looking so beautiful, that the sky is so blue, the mountain is just like the incredible creations, like nothing that you are experiencing, no challenge that you are experiencing, I hope can take you away from how beautiful life is out there. So my walks are very important to me. On the weekends, I try to take a lot of time because I have more times in the morning. So I try to take a lot of time to do breath work. And then I'll do my journaling. And while I'm doing journaling, I'm also just playing in the background some meditation. I'm jumping around, but I do drink cacao every single morning. Again, it used to be a weekend thing. I drink cacao every single morning. And while I am putting the cacao in my cup or the boiling water, I am pouring something in there. So every day I'm pouring in love and then something else. So it could be as I'm taking putting in the scoop, putting in the water, I'm like, I'm pouring in love and peace today. Or today it's just love and more love. Or today it's love and courage or love and clarity. And then as I'm drinking, I'm like, putting
Oh,
love and peace or love and clarity in my body. When I take my shower, I feel like everything is a ritual. When I take my shower, the water that is running over me, that's like a cleansing process. Every morning, I am cleansing myself with that water. And then at the end of every day, and sometimes I do this when I'm doing my evening walks, I'm giving everyone their energy back. So sometimes I'll even be walking and I'm doing this. Like I'm just forgiving everyone the energy back, and I'm like calling in my energy. Thank
yeah.
you, I love you, but I'm giving all your energy
You get
back.
your energy
And
back. You
I'm
get your
like,
energy back. Everybody gets their energy back.
and I'm calling in my own energy. And then of course I do EFT tapping as well. Now I
Mm.
do it or not so regularly. And then okay, again, every morning while I'm waking up, I'm thinking about what I'm grateful for. So at least three things. And the three things are like I'm grateful that I get to wake up today. I'm grateful that sometimes in bed, like when it's cold, it's difficult to get up. And then I'm just like grateful for my bed and for the blanket and for the way the blanket is hugging me. When I have more time, then I'm more grateful for everything else. But yeah, those are the things that I do like on a weekly basis. But now through this transformation process, I am so grateful to like recognize that there is help and to connect with people like yourself that can be part of those practices for me. So that's what I am going to look into more. Like I used to do Reiki when things are not going well. So those are some practices that I want to do regularly, to check in with myself, like doing a session with you to check in, and then doing a Reiki session to like get all my chakras aligned. And then yeah, I usually like the reason why I'm not so much into EFT right now is because EFT helps me process things. Okay, which is
Mm.
brilliant and I love it, but I'm not trying to get the feeling away right now. The ways that I've been feeling through this transformation, I'm not trying to shift and get out of the feeling. I've wanted to experience it and actually go through it. Um, so that's why like the breath work and the sessions with you were so much more important to me right now. But when I'm on that phase, like where I'm like life is going and I'm like unstoppable, then definitely I'll go with EFT because then I need to regulate my nervous system
Mm.
continuously.
EFT is
Yeah,
tapping, just in case people are thinking
EFT,
money transfers.
yes.
Okay, and you introduced EFT. in your next level sessions.
Yes.
I remember like that was the first time that I was introduced to it when you started your group sessions. Was it 2 years ago?
Yeah, I think it was 2 years ago. And let me tell
Time
you,
has passed.
EFT, like when I introduced it in the one session that we had, EFT wasn't supposed to be in what I was doing.
Yeah.
It was just I just got that like download, like do EFT and see where it goes. And I did it, and I thought maybe you guys were gonna think it was weird, but I just listened to that download, that message that
Yeah.
I got. And then it created us literally having EFT sessions every
Yeah.
single Sunday for months. It's what created your next level events.
Oh my goodness. Um, it was so beneficial. I never knew what EFT was. And if somebody told me tapping yourself on certain points of your body is going to change your life, I would never have believed it until I actually did that in those sessions with you. And I still
Yeah.
do it to this day where I will go to the gym and I will sit in the studio where there's tons of people who can see me. And I'm like, y'all gonna benefit from this when you see what I'm doing. You're gonna know your life is meant to change when you see me doing all of this. Like it's so transformational that I can't even hold back from complete strangers seeing me doing it.
I do the tapping on my walk sometimes. When I need to work through things also, like maybe if I got home from work and like it's been a stressful day, and I'll just start like tapping here and I'll just like be talking to myself. I've done it in a plane, like
Mm,
when I need, like I'm just taking that tool and doing it.
yeah. That's really good, like advice to those listening. If you just need an instant grounding technique, you can literally just tap yourself on the wrist or
Yeah.
somewhere on your body. What point works well for you?
Okay, for me, it's definitely my collarbone.
Here. Okay.
Yeah, it is definitely my collarbone. I would say, like, if let's say you are in conversation with someone and the conversation is uncomfortable, then maybe
Yeah.
you could do the side of your body
Under
because you
under
can
a
kind of do
desk,
that in a
maybe,
way that,
so you can
yeah,
conceal it.
but it's like
Yeah.
like you're listening to this person, and you're like, you know what, it's gonna be fine. Like you're just
Yeah.
tapping and be like, it'll be fine.
Everything's
Like
gonna be
everything's gonna
fine.
work out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. And if you've got some privacy or you're okay with people seeing you, then you can hit other points.
yeah,
For me, it's powerful to tap on the chest because
yeah.
I hold a lot of my anxiety and the overwhelming heavy feelings. They all sit here. So whenever I tap here, it's like such a soothing release.
And I agree for me also. Like it's so soothing and like I usually like start yawning and I know okay I'm
Mm,
releasing
yeah,
whatever has been held.
yeah, yeah. That's
Yeah.
also important to know because you also mentioned during the group sessions that if you find that you burp as well, so yawning and burping is just natural releases,
Yeah.
it's totally normal.
Yeah.
So you're basically um, you're realigning yourself several times a day with all the practices and the tools that you mentioned. It's not like you need to book, like schedule in your calendar once a week to do complete realignment. You're just doing it throughout the day. Is that what it's like for you?
Yeah, that's what it's like for me. And I know it may sound a lot, but it really isn't. So if you think about like I'll wake up in the morning, while I'm busy waking up, I'm saying the things that I'm grateful for. And then immediately I go into the shower. And then while that shower water is pouring over me, I'm just like filling myself with like the goodness of the day, like the good
Mm,
energy that can come from the water. So it's like me putting like
mm,
this good energy in the water. I mean, I would love to also say affirmations while I'm putting on my lotion, but I'm not doing that. There's so many things I could insert in there, but I'm not doing that. Sometimes when I do have a moment and I do like actually look at myself in the mirror, I will do the Mel Robbins high five, but that doesn't happen.
yeah.
I'm going to the kitchen. I'm making my morning cacao. I'm putting the cacao in the mug I might as well pour in some love anyway. So it's part
Love
of the
that.
routine. I put the cacao next to me like I'm waiting for it to cool down. So I'm sitting and like I'm putting on like a 10-minute or 15-minute meditation. If I'm really feeling called to, like it's a beautiful day and I want to go outside, then I'll pour my cacao into a takeaway mug and then I'll go on my walk and then that will be my form of meditation. And then yeah, importantly in the evening is just to give everyone's energy back and then
Mm,
just to
yeah.
um, take back my energy. Yeah.
I
Tell me
really
about some of your
like,
tools.
oh, my tools. Um, it started with meditation, and this is like a whole other story that maybe we will talk about some other time, but I started meditating because of you. So this
Oh my
was
goodness.
3 years ago. Gosh, the time. It was around, yeah, around 3 years ago, where through magical occurrences, I ended up going on a trip with you. And that was
Oh
the
my
only
God, we went
way,
to date together. What? Like, what is
that was
life
the
you
only way
doing
I
to
was
me?
going to be introduced to meditation. How else was I going to spend a morning with you?
Oh my goodness, that's
I was
crazy.
never meant to be on this trip with you. Like,
Yeah. Listen, do you know
yeah.
that I wasn't meant to be on the trip?
Oh my gosh.
I was not meant to be on the trip at all because I had
Yeah.
already been on a trip.
Yeah.
I wasn't supposed to go on this one.
I
That is
think
crazy.
our higher selves went and did some intervening
Like,
and was
we need
like,
to
get
connect
these two
somewhere.
into the same cabin. Because Yas needs to learn how to change her life. So,
Oh
spending
my
that time
goodness.
with you, it's going to sound weird saying this, but because we shared a cabin, I think because I spent so much time in close proximity to you and your energy sphere, you couldn't get rid of me on that trip. I know you get rid of everyone's energy, but you couldn't get rid of me on that trip. So it was from there. It's not like I started meditating immediately, but I started asking questions when I saw how you started your day. You would start with meditation, you would start and follow that with journaling, and then I would leave the room. So I actually don't know how else your
Yeah.
routine was. But just seeing you do that every day, and then I would see you ascend after like maybe 1 to 2 hours, and I'd be like, what was she doing? But she looks amazing and she's glowing. What was she doing? So I started questioning a lot. This was like middle of 2022. And by towards the end of 2022, it was playing on my mind so much. I started meditating myself and I didn't know how to. So I went onto YouTube meditation. And a channel called Great Meditation came up for me. And I started doing that. I started with the 5 minute videos. And after a few weeks, I went on to 10 minutes. So it started really small. And as I built that as a habit where it wasn't like a resistance to meditate in the morning, because it can be a resistance sometimes. When it became a complete natural part of my day, then I added to it. Then I would do yoga for just 10 minutes. So nothing huge. 10 minutes of meditation, 10 minutes of yoga. And that carried me through for like a good year as my life was starting to change. And when I left work, which was around the middle of 2024, my whole routine fell apart. And I think that's totally normal. Like as you go through different seasons, the tools that once served you is not going to anymore because you're not the same person. So, what has been serving me now is journaling. It is hard to get myself to sit down and write sometimes, but once you start, sometimes you can't stop. It's crazy. Like, how have we not written novels by now? I don't
Yeah.
know. And I also mentioned the guidance that comes through in the form of just wisdom. That's also a part of my practice where I will sit quietly and I'll just allow the conversations to happen. And it's often a two-way conversation. So I will say something, I get the response, and it goes on for like 20 minutes. That is my routine at the moment. And it will likely change because life is changing for me now. I've been very much in a cocoon for the last year, and I'm coming out. as of right now. So I imagine that I'm going to need new routines to ground me in this new experience. And just hearing what you mentioned, like the beverage ritual of pouring your intentions into the cup and drinking in that magic, that sounds amazing. I'm going to do that. If I'm not
You
mistaken, you
should.
did a podcast episode on how water can influence you, the way that
I
you.
may have.
I'm so sure you did an episode on the intentions that you set around water, whether it's water that you're drinking or water that's falling on you in the
Yeah.
shower. It can actually influence your DNA, literally your DNA.
I would love to think that I did a podcast episode because that would be awesome. But there is this, I don't know if you're familiar, but there's this Japanese scientist, I think he's a Japanese scientist that did the water experiment.
Yeah.
Are you familiar with it?
Yes.
Yeah. And I think like just seeing that shift between how water can transform when you say things like affirmations
Mm.
versus like bad words to it. That for me was like I knew it for a very long time that that happened. And then I was at like a wedding and it was in a mosque. And then the imam, which is like the priest, he was talking about this as well. And I was like, okay, like it doesn't even matter what religion or anything like
Yeah.
this,
It's
like
universal.
there must really be something to this. Yeah, and I started doing it and that's why I do it with
Mm.
when I shower as well. That's why I love going to the beach for the water, but do I go in it? No. Just like just being around it is
Yeah.
like
You
it's
are a
good
body of
enough.
water. We all are. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly that. Exactly.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing your story and sharing how you take care of yourself and keep yourself aligned on your path, which we have learned is ever changing. You're ever
Yeah.
changing. What your soul is calling you to do is ever changing. I feel to those listening, and even for myself, it gives us so much hope and trust that things can get better. We don't have to know how. We don't even have to know who's going to do it for us because, as you've mentioned, people out of nowhere arrived at the right time. So we don't have to know how we're going to do it. We don't have to know who to contact. You don't even have to contact anyone,
Yeah.
they'll come to you. Everything sorts itself out when you choose to believe that you can change your life. And also, when you have that wish to guide others in doing that as well, even greater support will arrive for you to put yourself on that scale to share yourself with
Yeah.
people.
I love that. And I think just to add also, just remember that like the magic will always happen if you allow it to happen. And it's so like it's mind blowing. I always knew that we were in Greece together, but realizing it now and years later, and the fact that neither of us were supposed to be on that trip, and like where we are at now and what we've built, and the fact that we have this relationship is like it's for me, it's magical and from the first day that I messaged you in your DMs on LinkedIn, I think
You
the
found me.
stars were
See,
all
I didn't have
aligned.
to do anything.
Yes.
You found me. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you so much for taking the time to help people see that everything's going to be okay. You can change your life. You just have to believe. And your story from where you were, not to say that where you were is bad, but just the evolution from where you were to where you are now. Yeah, it happened over a number of years, but it happened. So anything is possible for any person. And there's so much that I learned about you now that I didn't know. So I'm so grateful that you've opened yourself up, knowing that even if it's just one person's life that's going to change, it's absolutely worth it. On behalf of every person, myself as well, we say thank you. And lastly, I'm just thinking, like sometimes it's not enough to hear the motivational speech. You hear the whole motivational speech and still you're like, "Ugh, I can't do it. How am I supposed to do it?" Do you have any advice for the person listening that hears you? They want to believe in themselves. Maybe they are feeling a bit of a disconnect from receiving that inner guidance. It will absolutely come. Or maybe they are hearing the guidance, but they just cannot get themselves to take that next step. Do you have any words of advice or wisdom for them?
I actually came across this question, which I just thought was so powerful. And I think that we can apply it to anything and anyone in any situation. If you were in a movie, you were the main character in a movie, and other people were watching. They were watching your movie. You know, like when you watch a movie and you see something happen, you're like, oh my gosh, I just hope that she does that thing. If you were the main character in the movie, what would other people be screaming at you to do?
Mm,
And do that thing.
mm,
So just think about let yourself like forget about the fear because that's always going to happen. Just do it, whether you are shivering, whether you're quivering, whether there's like, a rumble in your voice. What would you, as that main character in that movie, what would the audience want you to do? And do exactly that. Because in that moment, you won't think about the fear. You'll
mm.
just think about like, what is going to make that movie great? What is going to
Yeah.
be like that plot twist? And when I think about that, this thing that I came across, and I think about that, and it's like the guidance is never bad. It's just wanting you to do the thing that is courageous.
Mm. And it's a great movie, so it's not like a horror movie where you take the action
Yeah,
and
it's real
there's an
life.
unpleasant outcome. This is one of those great adventure movies where no matter what you do, you are going to come out victorious. So just do it. Just do it.
Just do it. The thing that is like coming
Yeah.
into your mind, like literally right now, that like once, because we've spoken about this, that thing that popped into your mind right now, like that is the thing that you should do. Like you
Yeah.
should actually do it now.
Oh, thank you. Thank you
Thank you
so
so much for
much,
having me.
Insaaf. This has been
It's been so much
amazing.
fun.
I feel so much peace. Like this was meant to happen. I was up and down, like excited from the morning to have this call. And now that we've had it, I just feel like I've done my work here. My soul's mission is done. I can rest now. This has been amazing. Thank you.
Much fun.
And I'm
Thank you so much.
so excited to see where your soul leads you next. Um, Speaking of where's our soul leading us, we have a card pull to do.
Okay,
So we're
let's do it.
pulling an oracle
Excited.
card just to
Okay.
give us some guidance on what do we need to know about awakening to our soul's calling. And if we've already awakened to it, what do we need to know about deepening into our soul's calling? So I did pull the card already. The
Okay.
card is, oh, let me mention the oracle deck. It is called Love and Light Mantra Cards by Ali Ochin and Marion Piret. I hope I pronounced that correctly. And interesting story about this oracle deck is that I was never meant to receive this deck. So I had ordered something else and I was impatiently waiting for what I had ordered. It took a month to arrive. And I was like bursting with excitement as I'm opening it up and I see it's not what I ordered. It was this.
Oh my goodness.
And I had my total human moment of being bloody annoyed and so disappointed and pissed off that I didn't get what I want. And before the day was over, I came to the realization that maybe I didn't receive what I wanted, but maybe I received what I truly needed. I wasn't going to keep
Hmm.
it. I had contacted the supplier and I was like, take this back. I want what I ordered. And within that same day, I realized it came to me. let me give it a chance. And it's beautiful. Um,
It is. It looks like a
the
really beautiful day.
the words on the inside of the box, it says, "My happiness is found in the present moment, and I realize this is all that exists."
That is so beautiful.
And when I got this,
I love
I was
that.
like, this is why it came to me. Because if I'm freaking out over not receiving what I ordered, clearly I don't know what I truly need in life. Okay, so that was a nice digression. Back to the card. The card that I pulled is called Growth, and it has the number 11 on it, if that means something to anyone. 11 is a master number, special number, oneness with the universe. And it says, "I easily adapt, effortlessly change, and am aware this is a constant."
Oh my
So,
goodness.
quite
Isn't that like what we've been talking about?
and I pulled this long before we started our conversation. Does this have any significance to you when it comes to deepening into your soul's calling?
Yeah, I feel like that is just like that card represents everything we've been talking about.
Yeah.
Um, so it being a growth card and then also the number 11, I think in totality it's just a message to that we are going to change, that we are going to
Mm.
grow, and just to
Mm.
trust the change that is coming, to trust the growth paths, and just to take it one step at a time.
Yeah.
Um, because like we can only grow, but the main thing is to trust the growth path. That's what's coming through for me.
Yeah. Same for me. But I'm seeing the shock that can happen when the change does happen, and how important it is to trust when things are going in a totally different direction. So when I
Yeah,
first met you and I started working with you, you were coaching me to put myself out into the world because I was terrified to share what was important to me. I couldn't even post something online, and you helped me to do that. But when I started, I was so certain that my future was going to look a certain way. I was so certain that I was going to stay in my corporate role. I was going to infuse personal transformation into my corporate role. Like that was my 30-year plan. And I invested heavily in it. And without any warning, it changed. And if I did not learn how to trust, if I didn't build that trust over a number of months before that moment came, I would never have known that change is okay. It's okay if your life goes from A to Z. If it looks that
yeah,
different, it's meant for you. So that's what's coming through for me, that even when the change and the growth
I love
looks
that.
so different from what you expected, if you have any feeling of, this feels like it's a relief, this feels like I can trust it, even though I don't know what it is, it's still meant for you.
That is so beautiful. And you reminded me of two things. Like one was you needed to go through that previous phase. Like you
Mm.
needed to have that type of goals to be who you are and where you are right now. So that was that growth. Then the other thing of like your life can go from A to J or wherever. Um, that is incredible. And you're right, like it can be so scary. But it's okay, and how wonderful it is for us to experience life like this. I think we
Mm.
can get so caught up, and me especially, because I mean, for the longest time, um, everything that I talk about is always about like that you are in charge of your life and how you can control it, which I still believe is true. But now, as I am growing, I'm so much more open to the fact that like we are having a human experience. We are not only supposed to do all the things.
Mm.
We also supposed to have like these wild experiences that doesn't make sense to life, but
Yeah.
it is because of our soul. Our soul is here to do that, or in this way that, and this thing that we're gonna do that doesn't make sense is the way of like our soul healing something. Um, so I still love like the typical life things. But I was so much more like just so excited for my soul to have these different experiences. And what is so freeing about when you think about life like that, then the things that once mattered so much to you, and like the physical things that mattered so much to you are not that important anymore. The titles and all of those things. I mean, I used to really want to become a director that badly. And I was like, oh, but I can like do this for myself actually. Like I could just open a company, make myself the director. Like it's not that big of a deal actually. So there's just when you think about like your soul having an experience, it's so much more fun.
Mm.
And in the real world things, just the value kind of just diminishes a little bit for me. And that's kind of how I'm navigating life right now. And it just feels so much fun.
Yeah. Our soul adds the element of surprise. And
Yeah.
no matter how the surprise does turn out, you will always be thankful for it. Oh, Insaaf. This has been a soul fulfilling experience and conversation with you. And I know that I'm not the only one who feels this way. So thank you for
Thank you so
sharing
much.
with us. Thank you for being so generous. And I know that you don't owe it to anyone to transform their lives, but just you existing, you just being you. I don't know if you know that you are moving mountains within people's psyches, within their hearts, just by being you. And
Big
it's
time.
a huge privilege to know that you hold that position, but sometimes we're not even aware that we're making such a big difference. So I'm like personally taking it on to let people know that they are changing people's lives. You've changed my life. You still are changing my life. And I appreciate you. Every single person whose life you have touched, they appreciate you. And we are giving you a massive virtual hug right now.
I'll hug the PC.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. This was so much fun. I loved talking about this topic and connecting with you. Like most importantly, I think we could have like this conversation go on and on and on. Thank you so much.
We will absolutely chat again. The journey does not end. So I do look forward to having more magical, mystical conversations in the future.
Without a doubt.
Thank you.
Thank you
Bye
so much.
bye.
Bye.
Thank you so much for sharing this incredible conversation with us. Insaaf's story is such a powerful reminder that we each carry a unique calling. And when we begin to honor it, life absolutely meets us in unexpected and beautiful ways. If her words resonated with you, I invite you to connect with her. You can explore her podcast and her offerings by visiting theyournextlevel.com. You can also connect with her on social media. All of the links are included in the description. Thank you again for being part of this incredible conversation and sacred space with us. And thank you for investing this time in yourself. It truly is an act of self-love and self-empowerment. And if something stirred within you today, like a spark or a knowing, or even just a quiet sense of this is what I needed to hear, trust it. Until next time, all that you need is already within you. Bye bye.